First of all, thank you so much, Nicholas, for the introduction, and thank you so much for inviting us here today and inviting to the Capital Link conference here in Tokyo. It's a fantastic venue for people to meet, and glad to see that we can do this following the pandemic as well for the second time. So thank you very much for that. My name is Vetle Sjuve, and I'm a partner at Fearnley Securities. We're sponsoring the conference, and I will be moderating this panel for Japanese financing and leasing. The focus will be on the different capital solutions that are available for international ship owners. The Japanese financing market is something that we in Fearnley Securities have spent a significant amount of time on and done business for many, many years. It's a market that's very wide and fragmented, from Japanese regional owners who do sale and leasebacks to mega banks and JOLCO underwriters and everything in between. So with us here today, we have, I would say, a very prominent panel of great representatives of different types of players in the market, from finance institutions to regional banks, JOLCO underwriters, and large banking corporations. So I think to start off, it would be good to have just a brief introduction from each and every one of you to say a bit about yourself and your company. So why don't we start with Ogawa-san, and we do the line over here and end up with Yamaguchi-san, please.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Satoru Ogawa, and I'm a general manager of Ship Finance Division of Tokyo Century Corporation. Tokyo Century Corporation is one of the largest Japanese leasing and financing companies. We are involved in a wide range of businesses, including leasing, financing, investment, and business operations, not only in Japan, but abroad. As to shipping, while a typical Japanese leasing company under banking law, we differentiate ourselves by unique and diversified products by focusing on the asset value. In addition to providing the loan, we can offer bareboat charter, JOLCOs, equity investment, and also the time charters. One notable feature is our involvement in over 20 vessels under time charter, including joint ventures and also the in-house ship owning team. Thank you.
Thank you. So Noda-san.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me today. It's a great honor for me to be here. My name is Masaya Noda, Global Head of Ship Finance of Sumitomo MITSUI Trust Bank. Sumi Trust is one of the long-established ship financiers in Japan for both domestic and overseas clients. For key figures of our global ship finance, for example, client base is 130, and portfolio fleet is more than 600. And our global portfolio is approximately 11.2 billion at this point, and which is seventh largest globally, according to the Maritime Marine Money League table in 2022. In last fiscal year, Sumi Trust has provided 2 billion for 70 vessels in total. Trend of the market shows that opportunity for the VLGC, LNG, and FSRU having been increasing. For our portfolio breakdown, 75% is for the non-Japanese Japanese clients, and 25% is international clients. In terms of the loan amount, our international client base has been made after a lapse of 10 years since Sumi Trust had started providing loans to international clients from overseas branches. Now, we have ship finance team in London and Hong Kong and Singapore. Three pillars of our ship finance strategy, if I say, LNG related and international clients, and enhancement of the arrangement of the syndicated loan. We can provide for all of the clients one-stop service regarding a ship finance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Noda-san. So Endo-san, we'd be keen to hear an introduction about Fukuoka Bank and yourself as well, please.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Endo from the Bank of Fukuoka. So let me introduce my bank and myself briefly. The Fukuoka Bank is a regional bank based in Kyushu, located in the southwest side in Japan. And we also belong to the Fukuoka Financial Group, which is comprised of the 4 regional banks, and including Fukuoka Bank and 1 digital bank. The Fukuoka Financial Group, the total asset is about 200 billion in US dollar terms. And I've been involved in ship financing for more than 10 years. Now I'm in charge of the head of the shipping financing team. Regarding our shipping finance portfolio, current outstanding is the 4 billion in US dollar basis, and including the commit amount is about 5 billion US dollars. Our portfolio by type of vessel, half of which is bulk carriers, and each 10% is the container, product tankers, and chemical tankers. And also we handle the gas carrier and car carrier, and so on. And also our ship finance portfolio by customer basis, the finance for Japanese local owners accounts for the majority of the total, more than 95% at this moment. Financing for the overseas customers used to be indirect financing through the Japanese local owners, such as kind of the transaction sales and leaseback. But recently, we have started handle the direct financing for the overseas customers, and we are aiming to expand such kind of the transaction. We'd like to know our company, and hopefully I'd like to deal with you attending today in your future. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Endo-san. Yamabe-san, please.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me as a speaker for this session. It's my great pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you. My name is Masato Yamabe. I'm leading a geographical arrangement for maritime assets for 5 years working for FPG, Financial Partners Group. Financial Partner Group, FPG, is acts in maritime finance field. We are rather niche. We do not provide many financing products, but just geographical Japanese tax relief. But in the geographical field, we are the largest player, approximately more than 30% market share. In the maritime field, our share maybe exceeds half, 50%. So a tax risk called geographical is maybe some people are familiar with, but basically the tax investor can enjoy the tax deferral on the investment. And as for ship owner and operator, it's a source of financing on top of debt. That means if as for vessel cost, if the bank provides 70% of the price, we can provide 30%. That makes 100% financing. And in addition, we can offer a cheap cost of financing as an equity. So typically, we provide the equity cost on par with the debt. As for equity, it's very cheap. So nowadays, US dollar lending rate sometimes exceeds 6%, 4.5% of base rate plus 1 or 2% of margin. We can provide equity at the cost of less than 5% sometimes. So our product offers best good merit for both equity investors and the ship owners. So I'd like to answer to some good. I hope my message can provide good information to you. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Yamabe-san. So final introduction, Yamaguchi-san from the Development Bank of Japan, please.
So, hello everyone. My name is Yuichiro Yamaguchi from DBJ. DBJ is an abbreviation of the Development Bank of Japan. So many people misunderstand that the DBJ is something related to Japanese entity. So DBJ have to finance to the Japan or Japanese flavor only, but it is completely not. This is a very long story, but we are under the process of privatization. So still 100% owned by Japanese government, but we are under the process of privatization. So we can finance both domestic and global at the same time. So this is why I'm here today. So in terms of the ship finance, we have 6 billion outstanding, and out of 20% is the international transaction. So we can do both global and domestic. And one big feature of DBJ is we call ourselves bank, but we are not commercial bank. We are not governed by Japanese banking law. So we can free to offer from senior lending, junior loan, or mezzanine finance, preferred equity, or pure equity as well. So that's the very characteristic of DBJ. Thank you.
Thank you, Yamaguchi-san. So as you can see, we have a very wide representation of the different financing solutions available from the Japanese market here today. So we'll start off a bit generic as well. I think the first question, we would like to hear the thoughts from Ogawa-san at Tokyo Century. So in your view, what are the recent trends and the current state in the Japanese financing market? And how do you see that is affecting the availability of Japanese financing for specifically international ship owners?
Yes, we see more SOBs by the Japanese ship owners and also the JOLs compared to the past decade. We are also quite active in the JOKO market from the viewpoint of JOKO, arranger and equity underwriter. There is a growing trend for JOKO transactions with the international ship owners and operators. We see that more Japanese banks have been entering into senior loan to such foreign owners and operators. This greatly supports us for the growth of JOKO. And I anticipate this trend will continue in the near future. In addition to JOKO, Tokyo Century have been providing a finance directly for the foreign owners from 2010. And we are focusing on the asset-based finance to small and mid-sized ship owners where corporate credit framework does not apply well. I understand that some Japanese financial institutions start taking such asset-based finance approach to the international ship owners. This would also be the significant change of the Japanese financing market. Thank you.
Thanks, Ogawa-san. That's very interesting, and I think we're staying on the same topic here. And the next question is probably merging a bit into the first one, but it would be great to hear SMTB thoughts and your views, Noda-san, on what you view as what type of the financing products you see currently available in the market and being offered from Japanese financiers to international ship owners.
Okay, thank you. Sumitrust has established and maintained relationship with the various type of the stakeholders in long history in the main in the maritime sectors. Based on networks and knowledge we have made, we believe we can provide unique solutions to our clients. So I'd like to share 3 types of the finance which we always discuss with our client. The firstly, the syndicated loan. Some of the Japanese regional banks or life insurance company view shipping finance area very positively. So they are interested in joining the ship finance deals And having the situation that we have a lot of LNG type of the vessel, the finance pipelines, with size and amount of the vessels such as the mega containers or, as I mentioned, LNG type of the deals getting larger, syndication would be one of the best solutions for the both participants and SMTB ourselves as an originator. Secondly, JOLCO. Everyone already mentioned JOLCO, so I don't have something to add on this. But we are the partner. So if you need to create a JOLCO structure, we can create together with these friends. Thirdly, sales and BBC back. In Japan, some of the ship owners always have strong interest to own the vessels, depend on their situation, of course. SUMITRUST has a strong relationship with them, and we can propose the structure of sales and BBC back with these ship owners, which would enable client to reduce borrowings and to investment to the new vessels. By providing this kind of the solution, SUMITRUST would like to provide our values to the client, which differentiate us from other banks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Noda-san. That was a very good description of the different products available. There's obviously, as we've touched upon a few times, there are big width of the type of products available in this market. But I think maybe going back to Ogawa-san, if you can say something, if you were to think about all of these products in a generic way, what are the key advantages of doing something like this in Japan, and disadvantages, if you have any, as opposed for a European ship owner or American ship owner to just bank with their household banks?
Thank you. So generally speaking, we recognize that Japanese financial institutions engage in financing with a long-term perspective, and they are relatively cost competitive than European banks. From the viewpoint of a leasing company, we have higher cost of capital than banks since we don't have deposit from our customers. So as the leasing company in the international market, JOLCO is more competitive product for our client at this moment. According to the survey, JOLCO market shrunk by 35% in 2020 due to the pandemic effects. The market is recovering to the 2018 level this year, and we are expecting that the market will grow further next year to the highest level recorded in 2019. I would like to note that the investors tend to prefer shipping and container boxes rather than the aircraft following the airline defaults caused by the pandemic. I think this investor's mindset is also the positive changes in the Japanese financial market. Thank you.
Thanks, Ogawa-san. Thank you for that. So I think sort of going a bit more into the details and we've taken sort of a bird's eye view on the products available in the market, but to talk a bit more about sort of how it is to deal with the potential Japanese financier, maybe we want to give you a question, Yamaguchi-san, for the Development Bank of Japan. So if you can sort of describe the key features you are looking for when you are assessing a new client, from overseas, non-Japanese client, what are the key elements to that assessment?
Okay, thank you very much. So starting with very boring answer. So normally we see the company or project from the balancing between 3 C's. What is 3 C's? The first C is corporate credit. The second C is cash flow. It's the TCP rating or something. And the third C is collateral. So it's asset value. So we do see the balancing between these 3 C's. But this is, I think it's a very boring answer. So I'd like to put one aspect on top of these 3 C's. So as the Nikos from Starbucks I can see his face, but he clearly mentioned about the very important things. But normally, we Japanese evaluate better if you know the project or client better. So in that sense, we do evaluate Japanese company, evaluate better, because we know the Japanese company better. So, so the important thing is the relationship. If you make a relationship and know each other, then we can evaluate international company, same as Japanese company. But this is not just a relationship. It's a bit difficult to explain in English, but this is relationship, but I would say this is a relationship, but valuing on the owners and humanity or human kindness or something, or in other words, the relationship that help each other, but we do not expect any paybacks. This kind of relationship. So this is very important. So the question is how to build this kind of relationship. So this is very difficult, but to meet or in person, or to make a meeting with, or to drink with, eat with, or sometimes go to karaoke and sing with, or sometimes go to golf or doing golf with. So this is very important. In that sense, I'd like to show, say thank you to the Capital Inc. or Fearnley Securities or Columbia Shipmanagement or other sponsor that held this precious forum here in Japan, so that we can meet many international clients here today or other days. And also, I'd like to show warm welcome to those who can fly over to Japan. So thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Yamaguchi-san. And yeah, I think it's insightful to hear also that the relationship is playing such a big part, not only the sort of the corporate assessment. So it's, as was mentioned also on the earlier panels, obviously coming down here, having FaceTime, building relationship is very important if you want to expand your financing relationships with Japanese financiers. So thank you for that. So I think what we want to hear something from you, Endo-san, and Fukuoka Bank. You're representing the regional banks. You're a major player in the regional banking market in Japan. It would be interesting to hear what is sort of your current view and the preferences in terms of different segments and asset classes from sort of for the maritime industry from your point of view.
So from a credit point of view, we believe that the project can be divided into the two types. The first one is the asset-based transaction, which is the focus on the asset valued. And the second one is the project-based transaction, which is focused on the credit of the owner, the charter, and the cash flow. We handle the both transaction, but there is a different approach between them. For asset-based transaction, we value the liquidity of the asset and the existence of some kind of established market value. A liquidity of the asset, I said, includes not only the liquidity in the second-hand market, but also the some versatility, such as the ease of the obtaining the new charter contract. Because during the shipping recession of the 2013 to 2014, we had some experience of having to deal with the severe issue, such as bankruptcy of the charterer. And at that time, we learned the most important thing is the versatility and the appropriate level of the debt. Therefore, at this moment, in case of the asset-based approach, we prefer the small and medium-sized bulk carrier, product tankers, and chemical tankers, which have some the certain level liquidity and versatility. However, even the conventional vessel type, which has the liquidity and versatility, there is a possibility that their economic useful life may be shortened due to the effects of the recent regulation. And we believe that it is necessary to be careful when considering the conditions such as LTV and the age profile. On the other hand, when it comes to the large ships and the mega container and the Capesize market, I believe they have the certain level of the liquidity in the market, but they are highly volatile. And also the next generation fuels vessel, for which there is no established market at the present, and the future value is difficult to predict. In case of such a kind of vessel type transaction, we should be a project-based approach that relies on the reliable and long cash flow with their creditable charterer rather than asset-based approaches. That is the current view and our preference.
Thank you so much, Endo-san. That's very interesting to hear your view on that, on the asset classes and the market. I think shifting gears a bit over to, or from bank financing to JOLCOs. JOLCOs is something that has been mentioned by almost, or several of the panelists here today. So Yamabe-san, there has been some headline and news flow over the new regulations coming into the market. Could you just elaborate very, very shortly on what the new regulation entails? Mm-hmm. Very shortly, one sentence, if possible. Maybe an impossible request, but please do your best.
Okay.
And you know, give your guidance on whether you think that is affecting the attractiveness of the product.
Okay. So depreciation is very important part of our product. So equity investor, first thing they ask us is how much loss I can take by investing this equity. So, and the equity depreciation is a very big part of that loss. And until this March, new build vessels can enjoy 50% additional special depreciation immediately purchasing the vessel. That was a big part. So if LTV of 30%, then they can add 50% more, nearly 50% of vessel cost as a depreciation expense. And from April, it's gone. It's gone for almost all the vessels. Except for the vessels built in Japanese yards. So now we are focusing in the maritime world. We focus for used vessel JOLCO and marine container JOLCO. And as for the new vessels, we offer JOLCO with higher LTV. That means, for example, if the vessel cost is 100, the combination of debt 80 and equity 20 is workable. If bank is not able to provide 80% of the vessel cost, then financing amount would be less. So, for example, if the bank lends 72% of the vessel cost, then the total financing amount will be 90. So 18 for equity and 72 for debt. So, but still, on the equity portion, ship owner and operators can enjoy a cheaper cost, much cheaper than debt.
Thanks for that, Yamabe-san. And I think just, staying on the topic of JOLCOs when you have the word, you touched a bit upon it in terms of, different asset classes, etc., that your investors are interested in. But obviously coming out of the COVID pandemic, you had a very tough market on the aviation side, which is a big portion of the JOLCO market. And at the same time, the ship markets have been booming. So how have you viewed the access of both equity and debt to JOLCO for shipping, I would say, over the last couple of years? Is there anything in specific you would like to mention there?
Yeah, it's already touched upon by Ogawa-san a little bit. So nowadays, investors are more favorable to shipping asset. In the past, investors tend to see shipping prices more volatile than aircraft prices. But after the COVID, their attention comes to the maritime assets. So, and in addition, the maritime companies, the healthiness, credit profile improved much because of the very ample cash flow generated in these booming years. So they are more comfortable with shipping assets.
Thanks for that, Yamabe-san. Just shifting a bit of gears back again to the bank financing, and what we see in the shift there is that regional banks are, to a larger degree, entering the market. For example, like Fukuoka Bank and Endo-san. So I think this is a question to both Ogawa-san and Endo-san, whoever wants to answer. We're seeing more banks entering into the market from the regional markets of Japan. What is the rationale behind this, and how do you sort of see the regional banks differentiating themselves, if at all, from the mega banks and the larger banks like Sumitrust and DBJ? Can you please share a view on that?
So one of the background factors is the demand for the finance from the Japanese local customers is on decline. And policy interest rate is at low level for a while. As a result, the competition in the Japanese domestic market has become severe. And still, the shipping finance the demand is still strong, and the margin level is still healthy. There are some banks that have been not keen in the ship financing, entering the ship financing market, and they are seeking for the opportunity, not only the Japanese local market, but also the international market. For us, the Fukuoka Bank, considering they're expanding their overseas business, it is easier for us to expand the ship financing compared with the other industry, because we have the familiar with the shipping industry, and then the basic structure is well known. That is why we choose the ship financing for the expand the overseas businesses. On the other hand, from another point of view, recently the arranger attending today, the Tokyo Century, SMTB, FPG, and DBJ, and then the Fearnley have been actively providing the information and the opportunity for direct financing for overseas customers, and also the many overseas owners and charterers come to Japan and give us the opportunity to know. And so that we are able to obtain more opportunity than before. That is the background for some regional bank entering the international market, I think. And next, regarding the differentiation from the mega bank, although we cannot conduct large transaction like a mega bank, but we believe one of the strengths that we have the flexibility to respond to various type of deal. We can provide some kind of the tailor-made transaction, such as the joint deal with the Japanese ship owner, sale and leaseback, and also the joint collaborate with the Tokyo Century or the SMTB, FPG. Such kind of the flexibility is one of the strengths for our regional bank differentiation from the mega bank.
Thanks for that, Endo-san. That's very interesting, and interesting to hear about sort of the shift and changes we're seeing to the market. It's opening a bit more up than in the past. So I think, looking also a bit to the future, what's going on and what are your views on what will happen with this market going forward. I think we want to hear a bit from you, Noda-san, at SMTB. What do you think are the most significant future challenges or opportunities to the Japanese financing market?
Okay, I understand the transition period is one of the major themes in the maritime sectors. I'd like to raise one point, how we can support the transition period of the maritime sector. Sumitrust is a member of NZBA and has signed Poseidon Principle already. As you are aware of that, IMO's GHG reduction target has been revised in July, which is to achieve GHG net zero emission at around 2050. Subsequently, Poseidon Principle has also revised its trajectory in accordance with the IMO revision in September this year. Backed by accelerated environmental conscious trend worldwide, a significant amount of capital investment to next generation vessel would be provided. However, we need to understand that it takes some time for the new generation vessels to become more popular and available in this sector, because we have to wait for further innovation of technology and huge investment to the infrastructure at the port or something. We have two challenges here. Firstly, it would be difficult to assess or evaluate future values and liquidities of these type of the vessels. Additionally, it is assumed that next generation vessel and special vessels such as a CO2 carrier would be expensive compared to the current one. Therefore, it is still uncertain whether the structure works economically, bankable. Another challenge is that whether we could keep providing finance to the existing crude oil-powered vessels and the vessels with relatively low fuel efficiency in the near future under the pressure and the requirement from outside. In my view, important mandate for financial institution is to address clients' funding requirement continuously to support their transition phase, which helps the growth of not only the maritime sector, but also the global economy. Having a balance between the set mandate and the requirement from NZBA or potential Poseidon Principle, something, would not be straightforward. It should be a challenge that we need to tackle with. Of course, we have obstacles to overcome. However, Sumitrust, as one of the major ship financiers, would like to play an important role to lead this sector positively as much as possible. Needless to say, it must be another opportunity for us at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Noda-san. That's very interesting to hear about your thoughts for the future challenges and opportunities. So staying on the topic of the future, and we're running towards the end of the panel here, but I think we're going to round off with a question for you, Yamaguchi-san. Where do you see the most future growth for potential or for Japanese financiers, including DBJ, in the international shipping market, if you think in terms of both client and products?
So two aspects. So one aspect I'd like to mention here is there's hundreds of regional banks in Japan. And only a few, like Fukuoka Bank, do the international transaction. But hundreds of regional banks have excess deposit, as the Endo-san clearly mentioned, because in the domestic deal is shrinking. So they have, they can do the match transaction. However, they have to do one step further to international. So someone need to help. So Noda-san clearly mentioned about the syndicate loan. So maybe Sumitrap or SMTB can help, and sometimes DBJ also help the one step further from regional banks to international finance. And the second aspect here I'd like to mentioning is the same thing that mentioned by Jeffrey from Pure Marine, but I'd like to say about the offshore wind. You know, Japan is a very small country when talking about the land. However, if talking with the territorial water, Japan is 6th largest in the world in terms of territorial water. However, Japan has not developed the offshore wind yet. Maybe in Japan, after 2030, there's so many offshore wind, both bottle fixed and floating, is coming into. In such cases, many CTB or SOB is needed. But in Japan, there's no such transaction. So it's very good to Japanese banks to go abroad and see the international finance for the offshore wind related finance. Maybe it's very good experience. So then we can bring back such experience to Japan. Maybe it takes time, 3 no more, 5 years time horizon to bring back to Japan. Then maybe we can enjoy the Japanese offshore wind with CTB finance or SOB finance. So the offshore wind related finance is one of the good opportunity for most of Japanese banking sector. Thank you.
Great, thanks for that. Very interesting to hear your views on the future, and obviously we see the trend of the regional banks is on the topic here, and also to hear about the offshore wind market. That's very interesting. So I think we're running towards the end of the panel here. So if there's not any questions, okay, Jigo.
Vetle and the rest of the panelists, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation today. For those who is comfortable to answer to my question, I'd like to field your answer on this. The question is, many of the people here who is an existing borrower in Japan, as well as new entrants coming to Japan, there are many good stories as well as bad stories, i.e. there are some mixed results. You, as a word of wisdom, can you share what are the strong, powerful business tips of getting financing in Japan?
Would you clarify your question again?
My question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yamaguchi-san, in order for people here to win business, get financing, credit approvals, what are your sort of success factors in winning credit approvals?
Internal our company?
Yes, correct. Because many of the people have difficulties reaching to that levels. And I think this is something people would like to understand, to better understand the attributes of Japanese institutions. Yes.
You want to take the word, Yamaguchi-san?
So I'm talking about relationship, but the relationship is not only the solution to get the internal approval. Relationship is something that I need. So it's kind of the gatekeeper. So if no relationship, you cannot enter the door. But after entering or opening the door, you have to get internal approval of each bank or institution. So that's very difficult because I would say, so this is only the shipping guys are here. So I would say normally DBJ or SMTB or other banking sector, in many banking or institution, aviation and shipping finance is done in the same department. And many people see aviation is stable, shipping is volatile. I wouldn't say no, but many people misunderstanding. So starting from shipping side, we do have to convince our boss or credit department that this company is so stable or conservative. So how to show the conservative or stable figure or strategy? So that would be very important to get the approval internally. So relationship is a gate or door opening tool. And after that, you need something very stability of figure or strategy would be very good. So that is my answer.
Okay, yeah, thanks. We're running over time here, but any more questions? Otherwise, thank you so much to the panelists here for sharing your insight. It's very interesting, and thank you for having us, Nicholas and the Capital Link team.